Ladies and gentlemen, friends at the Climate Group, we are absolutely delighted to be strong supporters of the Clean Revolution initiative. And I really want to commend the Climate Group over its young past for really taking the initiative and forging the kind of consensus and the kind of radical centre that we are going to need to make progress on this issue. We firmly believe at the World Bank Group that we're in a make or break decade. The science is increasingly solid, and developing countries are going to be hardest hit by changing rainfall patterns, rising sea levels, the major impacts on food supply, increased health risks that come from deepening poverty, and more natural disasters. The decade is also running the risk of being marked by an absence of a global regulatory regime. So current emissions pledges place the world on a trajectory for global warming of well over 3 degrees centigrade. If the pledges are not made, then we're more likely to be 4 degrees or above. The transformations of a 4-degree world will be both gradual and extreme, and will be profound. So we have to start thinking and planning for the unthinkable, not from a risk perspective alone, but really centrally from the opportunity that this offers us to really turn things around. We have limited time. Time is not our friend to put motion in action and put regimes that place all countries on climate-resilient growth paths in place, providing the jobs and the livelihoods for everybody to be part of that green growth future. Inclusive and green growth is a vital tool for this, and it is possible. And we can see in the over 130 countries in which we're working that there are things that can be done today and tomorrow to start shifting that growth path. There are packages of policy reforms, public funding, leveraging private investment in green development across the world. But the actions are not yet at the scale that we need to meet the challenges at the speed that we need. Unlocking private investment obviously is key. Smart companies, many of them in the room today, are not waiting for an international agreement. In fact, the unit of account that is 193 countries is not where our focus should primarily be today. We can see market leaders in almost all sectors storming ahead in the way in which they think about operating in a world where we need more mitigation action, but increasingly we have to think now about the risks of adaptation to business models in every sector of the economy. And this is where I think the Clean Revolution campaign can really help. It is important to find the best examples of regulation and legislation that really support risk-taking and innovation in the private sector, celebrate it and reward it in real time, here and now, with access to long-term affordable capital. Mark said that climate change is showing its teeth. I wish, and here and other countries like it, that the private sector would show its teeth too and growl a little bit when it demands the level playing field necessary for companies that want to do the right thing to really be able to succeed at doing the right thing. We need that speed and scale. There will always be leaders, but we need everybody to lead. So we are working in 130 countries. We doubled our contributions to adaptation in the last financial year alone, in addition to what we're already doing in mitigation. The $7.2 billion climate investment funds now operate in 48 countries, and we're leveraging investments on an average of 12 to 1. We're on the ground supporting the kinds of finance that are needed to help poor people grow their way out of poverty, make themselves more resilient, and to achieve the win-win-win of emissions reduction, of more jobs and better livelihoods, and better tenure of the land and ecosystems upon which we all depend. The poor, in particular, cannot simply afford to push the battle for climate change down the line, to kick the can down the road. The poor, whether they live in small island states or desertified states or inundated coastal communities, need our action now. And this kind of week brings, I think, the wealth of experience and ideas together that are needed. We now say that the past, and we now know that the past will not be a prologue of the future. The alliances, the faith community, the science community, the business community, the governors, the prime ministers, the heads of state that are gathered here, these are the alliances and the partnerships to ensure that when we say that the past is not the prologue of the future is indeed a better one. It is in these kinds of alliances that we will find the way to turn the clean revolution goal into reality, and we're very proud to be a partner. Thank you very much.